place to work.
Leave that. Someone better get on the board.
Was it where they were at 33, 35?
Yep, right around there. Wasn't a whole lot.
Donnie, you gonna start?
I think he's frozen. Oh, there he is. Oh. You hear us, Ty?
Yes, I can hear you. Today is Wednesday, January 8th, 2025. Happy New Year to everyone. It's 5:30 PM, calling Public Works Committee to order. Stand and salute the flag, and then I would like to defer because of the spotty service that we have here in Columbia. I'd like to defer the chair of the meeting to either Brandon or Caleb. Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I'll
Here.
take.
Either
I'll run it
Brandon
on.
or Caleb.
Yep. All right, we'll call the public meeting to order. November 13th, 2024. We'll go over the November 13th, 2024 Public Works minutes.
Move to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
First and second on the table. Any comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Accept the minutes. Public comment on agenda items, 2 minutes per person, 14 minutes per topic. You guys got anything you want to say?
We're from the Bluffs of Somerset. I believe Donnie put something on the agenda.
Okay, well then you can speak then.
Yeah.
Anyone online want to say anything? Going once, going twice, no comment, perfect. Moving on to
Yeah,
four
John-
project.
John, if you want to speak on this, if John wanted to speak on it, now would be his opportunity to speak on the agenda item.
Oh, okay, so we'll go back to public comment, so if you guys
Okay.
want to speak.
All right,
Speak now.
so Donnie just wanted me, I'll stand up. Donnie just wanted me to come and give you kind of a history of what this agenda item is. Earlier this summer, well, actually earlier this spring, Northwest Communications came through the neighborhood of the Bluffs to install fiber optic cables. We were never notified that they're coming in or anything else like that. So it was, we noticed the locate flags and all of a sudden they showed up. They did that. I don't have the exact dates, but I want to say the April-May timeframe. When we went to start up our irrigation system, which we really didn't even start up until June, we found out that when they directional bored the fiber optic lines, they hit our irrigation in 3 different spots. We fired up the irrigation, sent water into the lines, which also pulled sand and debris into the lines and plugged up a number of our heads. We had our lawn maintenance contractor repair the irrigation. It took him quite a while to do it with all the debris that had gone through. And then we went through the process of trying to get a hold of Northwest Communications to find out if we could get reimbursed for this at all. My vice president, I'm the president of the HOA, my vice president, Steve Sampson here. He tried to call a number of times with no response from Northwest Communications. I tried to call Northwest Communications, never got a response. This went on from June and July. And then fast forward till October, I had a meeting with Donnie regarding a different subject, and I just brought it up in passing, and he said he would try to look into it. Donnie got a hold of Greg Cardinal with Northwest Communications. They said they'd take care of it, pass it on to their contractor that did the directional bore, which I'm gonna pronounce this wrong, but to Jader?
Chair.
Jader?
Yep.
Okay.
Chair Heistrom.
All right. Greg said he was gonna pass it on to Jader. Still didn't hear anything. And as we're going into the meeting now, I hadn't heard anything. I sent Don an email last night that as of last night, I didn't hear anything. Jader called me today. They want a more detailed invoice from us. They were going to send me an email that I was supposed to send it to. I haven't received that yet. I'd like to have this stay on the agenda as, old business to see if it does get resolved. Are there any questions?
How much was the total damage? Is it? Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
it's-
sorry. I saw the email, I can't remember.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and,
it's
and I come up with this all the time. I had it down.
$2,140.
It's some odd cents.
Bob, did you reach out to any of those guys either, or to
Just Northwest Communications.
Northwest to get them to take care of it?
That's not my only phone call to Northwest Communications about other properties that have had either some damage or lack of restoration.
Seeding issues, landscaping stuff. Okay. And then as part of this, aren't we, did we start requiring
After this happened.
we did,
This was
okay,
A result of that.
got it, okay. So just so you know, we did put in a small utilities easement form that they have to fill out when they do this kind of work now. I know that doesn't solve the problem you had. But I think keeping it on the agenda is absolutely fine. We can keep her on there, and if you wanna come back next month or keep in contact with Donnie and let us know how it goes, but they ruined it, they should fix it. It's pretty simple.
I will, if all goes well, and I think Don talked about giving them 30 days or something, and basically it'd be next month's meeting.
Mhm.
If all goes well, I'll contact Donnie and said that we've been reimbursed, otherwise we'll be back,
Okay,
all right?
sounds good.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for bird dogging that, Donnie. Good work.
We're gonna stay just to watch, or at least.
Have at her. All right. We love an audience.
That's exciting.
Anyone online have any comment? Brenda, you good? She's good. All right. Moving on, project updates, general update on active projects.
Yes, so good evening, Public Works Committee. First on my list is the Village Park Trail improvements. Bob and I went and reviewed this today. You know, what we did is, we didn't know how much it would cost to put that trail down from Churchill Road down to the river, and then on the other side up, up the bluff on the other side.
Mhm.
And we got some feedback from Bob, we're gonna remove a little bit of the trail, but to cut to the chase it's a significant cost to get it ADA, because you've got shoring and railing and everything else, and it's handwork to build it. Our initial estimate was $1 million. It's not gonna be that high, but it's not gonna be much less than that.
So is ADA a requirement?
If you wanna go out to solicit for grants, you have to have a component in there that either includes or improves ADA accessibility. Otherwise, you don't score. They'll reject your application.
So we're planning on,
These are
applying for
stewardship
grants.
grants from the DNR that we're looking at, which are, it's a 50-50 match.
is it worth the 50-50 for making it ADA compliant? Is the cost gonna be 50% if it isn't ADA compliant? So we'd be in the same boat
We
anyways.
did recreation, I believe the cost is still going to be significant, just because there's a lot of. The terrain topography is significant, so then we're in a, like Chuck said, a lot of labor, and that's what will really drive the cost up, so. We'll try to balance this out a little bit more and see, but I did tell Chuck that maybe we wanna make this part of the master planning, that revisit of that plan, and then potentially we incorporate that. If we were looking at a larger scale of a grant writing versus just a trail segment,
Mhm.
there's a chance that something else would pull that in to help it score.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, and then, it's an overall kind of, now we know, right? We've put pen to paper and we figured that out, so we'll rework the exhibit, the cost estimate, provide that to the board. Unless you wanted to go through Public Works next month, we can certainly do that. But, and again, it's just gonna be attached. I think that's a great idea Bob has, as far as, considering that in future park improvements and kind of the overall scope of things, and
just do the switchbacks.
Yeah.
East side. Yep, so the thought is to correct that trail, the stairway coming down, which is in awful shape. And, you know, just to make it more inviting for people to get down into the park area.
And I don't know if you've ever been up or down those.
I
things,
have,
but
they're horrible.
yeah, Bob and I basically had to hold on to each other to get up and down
There's
there.
no railing anymore.
Is there video of
That's what the flock cameras pointed at. Okay, well, trust you guys to come up with a good plan for that, and we gotta get that side of the river accessible so people can go down and up, so whatever it costs, what to figure it out, just hopefully it won't come out of that 75,000 that we have appropriated for other, okay, perfect, okay.
Other highlights here, you know, the regional storm pond, we had a meeting actually today to talk about some of the stormwater coming off of that Cap Vest, you know, development and just regional ponds. That's all been completed. I did share that with the city now. I know at one time we had talked about, you know, potentially a dog park down there, but you know, once we looked at the requirements for treating the water, infiltrating the water, you know, the wetlands and, you know, everything down there really isn't any room for any sort of dog park down there unless you wanna, you know, take away potential commercial developable land and throw a dog park there, which I'm assuming you don't wanna do because that doesn't really pay the bills, right?
You're killing me, Chuck.
Well, we had our spot and then, we needed an additional pond here.
Hmm.
And that
That's for the
was where we were gonna put it, but we didn't have enough infiltration capability with the proposed development and impervious, so.
You know, and these ponds are sized to handle everything, not just this development, but this to handle all that future commercial.
Yeah, and once it's all pavement over there, there's gonna be a lot of runoff. We might have to look at buying some more parkland over by the Granger, that lot's for sale next to it.
I'm just gonna knock my house down and turn it into
I think we should put one in the center of the where the meadows is, where that center is, where they got the houses all around it, I say we put the dog park in there. Anyways, alright, onto the subdivision, so subdivision plot, everything's going well with that, I get a lot of comments on how much dirt we're moving, people are very interested in
Yeah.
all the dirt being moved up
It's
there.
looking like it could be something now, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
they let me know they're working on Christmas, they're working on New Year's Day, they're busy.
They're out there late.
Yeah.
Everybody tells me that. They're out there late.
Well, it gets dark early too. Well, you know,
4:30 is late.
and no snow kind of helps
Yeah.
the efforts, right? And, you know, which gets us to this next, this TID 5, the lift station and utility extension. Twice now, we've been out there doing exploratory digging. We've been unsuccessful thus far to find those casing pipes underneath the highway.
Oh, boy.
I know, right? And, you know, the as-bills that the DOT did 20 years ago, you know, what are reflective to reality. I'm assuming they're put in there somewhere, but we have yet to find them. And so, you know, we're gonna be reaching out to, the engineer of record and
Who is the engineer?
Ayers and Associates did, you know, and also the DOT have further discussions with them, cause it's their plans, their as-built.
Wouldn't they be responsible for locating it?
That's the angle we're gonna take, Donnie.
Yeah. So we're having more.
I mean, if we can't locate it, it should be them guys to flag it.
I agree.
Mhm.
DOT's never done anything wrong, though.
Every time we got a pipe in the ground, we can't find it. It happens like every time.
Well, and what we do know is you paid for it. So,
Better find it.
again, so there's you know, and then there's this
I
cost.
suppose we'll have a change order for that then, huh?
Well, there's been additional exploratory digging, so those are part of the discussions with the DOT and, you know.
So before you bring a change order forward to us, you'll make sure that they'll tell us they won't pay.
Yeah, our position is that they should be paying for it, but,
Makes sense.
They're not gonna volunteer to do it.
No.
yeah. But, and, you know, so, but Haas is chomping at the bit to, start this project. We've been seeing, what do you call it, shop drawing submittals and that sort of thing. They want to be out there tomorrow digging a hole. But until we have a better handle on where these casing pipes are, we're pumping the brakes there a little bit.
So they've done all the work up to this point they can do until they find a pipe.
More or less. I mean, there's equipment and, some other things, but, they're getting to that point and, we talked about having a pre-construction meeting in a couple weeks here. We're arranging that, I believe for the 23rd. And, if it drags on too much longer, it may impact, the deadline of August 31st. But, there's certain things out of our control, right? So.
We better get it in control.
Yeah. Well, we thought about, ground penetrating radar, but that's not cheap either, just to kind of see where the trenches and the soils are disturbed, so, it's just, it's annoying to say the least.
All right.
And then as we talked about too, that Dan's Excavating has been out there at the latitude 45 development, moving earthwork around and going like gangbusters. We'll be having a pre-construction meeting here soon on the utility. And, because I had a couple weeks off, I didn't have a task order for the construction observation that, just like Pinevale Development, how we observe the construction of the utilities going in. We'll bring that forward. If that's okay with Public Works, we'll bring that directly to the board in a week. Because, in particular, especially in these sort of conditions, you're gonna want us standing over the trench, because the last thing we want is a frozen chunk of earth being thrown in the trench. So they gotta separate the frost stuff from the stuff that isn't. So more to come in that. And then, Pinevale, I guess I don't really have that. Bob, I don't know if you have anything to share on that one at this point since the last month, nothing?
No.
Did you get a chance to get out there to look at that, what we talked about before the new year? As far as the drainage is concerned off of that gentleman's property?
I guess help me out, Donnie. The drainage as far as, we did look at it.
We had water
previously.
runoff onto the township property, and we had brought up a proposal of cutting back and draining into that storm sewer or the storm pond on that, through that southern part, and getting a swale cut back there. And you said you wanted to look at it. Seemed like it made sense, but you wanted to look at it first. Did you get a chance to review that yet and walk through there?
Short answer, I did not, as far as just to avoid having to do anything through there. I do have a meeting with, I will be in town next week. I'll do that, Donnie.
Thank you.
Hopefully it won't be warm up, but I suppose it's gonna warm up and get cold again, huh? So. Other than that, I don't know if there's any other questions for me. Those are kind of the highlights of what's going on.
What's up with this? You don't want jizz anymore? You want arc jizz, or what's going on with, you want LSLI instead of jizz? What's up with that?
GIS. So,
When you put GIS together, what does it sound like?
just. So, yeah, they stopped, these software companies do a brilliant job of, sunsetting their software. And so you have to upgrade and go to their new and improved software.
So we have to do this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How much is that?
Is there
gonna
time-
cost?
Is there a timeline established with that too?
It's not much.
Yeah. And it's kind of as we go here in time frame, and so as we develop new things, we'll be, and I believe, I don't know if we've done anything recently with you, but as soon as they made that, whatever you call it, that experience builder available, we started using it. But there is some efforts and because they've sunsetted the other stuff that, you know, we're gonna have to.
All of the fire hydrant adopting and road claiming will stay the same.
Yeah, so imagery wise, it'll stay the same, but our attribute pull downs, where we put information in.
Yep.
Is changed,
Okay,
so they'll need to integrate that with the new system.
got it.
That's the biggest thing, and that's, to them, it's easy, just takes some effort to do it, but.
I'll give it a shot when I enter something new in there.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, as far as your interface, you know, it won't change significantly, but it's a. new and improved
Is there a
tool.
time, is there a timeline associated with that?
Nope,
Picking away at it.
taking away at it.
All right, we'll move on to 5A. Unless anyone, guys got anything else? No? Okay, we're gonna move on to 5A, unfinished business, outdated ordinances, Title 6, Chapter 4, trees and shrubs. I did not get to this. I had a question out to Abigail Kraus, who gave me the ordinance stuff, and I haven't heard back from her yet, so I'll make a motion to table the outdated ordinance, Title 6, Chapter 4, trees and shrubs.
Mr. Chairman, just a question here. Is there anything on unfinished business that needs to be addressed in, at all? Because if there isn't, I'd just say we just keep everything on there to move it along, because, as far as like, unless you wanted to discuss timing of meetings with public on Vision Park improvements.
That was the only one I wanted to talk
You want,
about.
okay, so
Okay.
that's the only one you want to talk about?
Yep.
Okay, so,
Also question, participation in school forest. Do you have anything on that either, Brandon?
nope, I haven't got anything on that either.
So, move to, table A, B, and D, until next month, and then we can just discuss C. How's that?
Second. First and second on the table. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, we'll table A, B, and D. Moving on to discussion possible recommendation, timeline on meetings with public on village park improvements.
So I think we should get something scheduled, so it keeps us to task.
You had mentioned February. What are you looking at there? Do you want to have it before like the first week of February prior to our public works meeting? So we got time to deliberate on it, or?
Either that or the end of February, first part of March, was my thought.
Do you wanna do the 25th, special meeting on the 25th, or that's when we'll have the public input?
I think it's not a special meeting, it's a town hall, if you will, public meeting. Where we invite folks either here to the school or.
Just say we're having a quorum and we'll be down there,
Right.
show up if you wanna talk about it.
So the 25th or 26th, normally we kind of hold things on Wednesdays, don't we? Or do you want to have it on a Tuesday?
26 would work better for me because we're getting our audit done that week, so.
Okay. 26th.
So
would work.
And now, are we gonna have it at the hall, or were you talking about at the school or the library?
But I think we should consider a space that's larger and few more seats, maybe. Maybe not,
I think the library, the one large library room will be plenty big,
the RCU room in the library,
yeah. You want me to,
I'll try and,
I can talk to them, I can
So
reach
we're-
out, and get the room. So we're thinking what, 25th or 26th,
The
sorry,
26th, so move to call for a special meeting, for discussion on Village Park, improvements and altercations on the 26th of February. At a space to be determined.
sure. Oh, how about what time, Donnie?
Let's make,
6.
yeah, 6 o'clock is a good time.
okay. I'll check with the library. I'll get the RCU room.
Chuck, can you have done that?
If the library is booked, Brandon, get with me. I'm sure we could find another location either at the school or there's other venues in town that we could utilize.
Okay, I'll ask him tomorrow.
The Legion.
Legion,
To answer your question, Caleb, I will actually have, a work education thing. I'll be in the Dells.
Hmm.
But, I do have an experienced landscape architect starting on Monday. And, so I can get her up to speed, way ahead of that meeting. I think it would probably make more sense for her to help facilitate that than an engineer. So,
Yeah.
or even possibly Dan Williams. And if you recall, Dan Williams is the one who put the original document together.
Sure.
So we'll have somebody there, short answer, but it likely won't be me unless you out on the table and want me there, and I'll find a way to be here.
No, you have fun in Wisconsin Dells.
It'll be work, no water parks, no swim trunks, okay?
All right, sure. Yeah. All right, so we're going to have a special meeting / town hall on February 26th at 6 PM. We'll try the library if that don't work.
That was my motion, yep.
Brandon Crown second.
I think Caleb already seconded it, didn't he?
All right, we got a first and second. Any comment?
My one comment
Oh.
is, I would like to have a subsequent meeting after the weather breaks in the park. With the public. I don't think we have to determine that now, but I just wanted the committee to be aware that,
And make sure we put that on the agenda in March and we could talk about it then after this meeting, huh?
yep,
Who knows, we might not be around after
all right.
that. First, any further comment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 6A, new business, 2024 utility work property damage. Sounds like we've already talked that. Anyone have anything else on that?
We'll just table that until next month and review it and old business. If it's resolved, then we'll remove it from the agenda.
Got a motion to table.
Second,
Hearing first and second, motion to table on the floor, first and second, any comment? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries, we will table that. All right, we have our Public Works Department report. Water, sewer, park, street, stormwater.
we saving money on salt this year.
Yeah, we gotta put that money somewhere else. Lay that away for something.
We can use all that salt money to do the switchbacks on down the hill, right?
Don't you come for that.
Burn through a salt budget real fast.
Yeah, don't come for that salt money. I had a chance to review this. It looks like unfortunately we had some electrolysis corrosion. I had to Google that today. I learned what that was. That was interesting. I'd imagine we have a lot of that. It happens from time to
Yeah,
time.
from time to time.
Depends on where stuff's connected as
Yeah,
the.
you get some straight water, and if there's not something grounded correctly, could be a plumbing thing, or it could be just like I said, a underground wire with a fray in it, that's allowing electricity to conduct into the copper.
Through the water.
And the brass.
Imagine that's something that happens.
That was fixed on Monday.
Anything else you need from us or anything you need? All right. I did get the bat box built by the high school, stuff Neil dropped off, so
Oh, good.
I'll get that installed here
Okay.
once it warms up a little bit.
Yeah.
So that was a nice project, so we might end up doing some more of those.
Catching bats.
Yeah, we built the bat house. We dropped off some stuff for the high school kids to build bat houses for the parks. They built one, they had fun, so might have built a few more. Okay, so, anyone have any questions on the department report? 2024 budget reports. Questions on the budgets?
Drop off.
Oh, he's there.
I'm here. I just, it's a hell of a pull on Wi-Fi down here in Columbia, so I would shut my video off so I could hear you guys.
Yeah. It's all like we have any questions on the budgets. So 8, Public Works, Water and Sewer and Park bills. Brandon Crone, I make a motion to approve the water, sewer and park bills.
Second.
First and second, any comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye, opposed?
Aye.
Water bills are passed. Any future agenda items?
Do we need to have anything on the agenda going into, for taking over, Parent Street and, 180th, making that into Parent Street?
I don't know.
We have a meeting scheduled with, the town, the end of this month. It'd be, they were exercised a willingness to it. I just didn't know if we wanted to put something on our agenda or if it just needs to be handled through the board.
How does that work? How do we take over a street? What's the process for that?
It's a jurisdictional transfer. I'm not sure the logistics of that. Is that something you work through your attorney on? Or, I put it on the agenda for that joint meeting, we'll talk about it.
Would it come to Public Works anyway, Donnie?
Most likely not.
Planning commission.
I think that the
Sorry,
town-
say again?
The town would do a
We're
resolution.
questioning whether or not that would be a Public Works issue.
I think the town does a resolution, vote on the resolution, and then we accept it.
At the village board meeting?
And I'm sure there's some legal things in between there that.
So the ball's in their court
Yeah.
until they
Yeah.
pass the resolution.
You would probably have to pass a resolution as well.
I think we have to pass it too,
Yeah.
because we
Yeah.
gotta be willing to accept it.
Agreed.
That's the juice of it.
Okay, I was just wondering if we needed to put it on the agenda for our discussion for taking that over.
If anything should come up, you guys let us know.
Yeah, for sure.
Move to adjourn.
Frank, I'll second. First and second on the table. Any more comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed.
Thanks, guys.
Motion passes. We are adjourned at.
See you
Buenas tardes from Colombia. I'll go back to my, my vacation now.
Yeah, have fun, Donnie.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
See you, bye.
I'll see you next week.
See you next week.